support our allies of Israel and Ukraine.
Okay. Would you say that Israel and Ukraine are in different standpoints when it comes to their different type of conflicts?
I mean, both of them are Western nations and allies of the United States who've repeatedly asked those around them to leave them the hell alone. They were both invaded by outside entities who violated the sovereignty of their borders. Russia and Hamas are both on the same side. In fact, on was it October 9th, Dmitry Medvedev, the former president and prime minister of Russia, openly admitted on state television that they funded, trained, and armed Hamas in order to cause October 7th to distract the world from Ukraine. Russia and Iran trade weapons back and forth and money, which are then used against both Israel and Ukraine. I mean, they're pretty related.
Okay, I'm just here for more understanding.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so there are allies. They
Mm-hmm.
all have certain type of similarities when it comes to their plight.
Mm-hmm.
Um, do you think that America is doing a good job when it comes to these two countries?
Oh no, we fucked up with helping them both.
How sway?
So with Ukraine specifically, like make no mistake, I don't like Biden or Trump, so I'm very critical on both of them of this. But one of my gripes with the Biden administration was, yeah, they sent aid to Ukraine, but it was too little, too late, and it was drip fed in, which is not conducive to conducting combat operations and really hurts Ukraine and my friends on the front line. Um, and then Trump coming in, kind of doing the same thing, abandoning Ukraine. Then he's not abandoning Ukraine. Also, the Biden administration openly admitting that in the height of Ukraine's counteroffensives, where they pushed back Russia almost entirely out of their territory, we openly told Ukraine to stop and dig in because we were afraid Putin was going to nuke them, but we didn't have any proof of that. We just kind of thought they would, so we had them stop, and then they started losing territory because of the lack of equipment. With Israel, I think the fact that our leadership in both parties kind of flip flops on stuff and doesn't really give. Trump gives a more clear stance than Biden did. But when it comes to how do I phrase this? How staunch we are and articulate we are with our defense of our allies, it kind of irritates me on the Israel front. Like the Biden administration knows the facts of the case and would kind of play political theater. We're like, yeah, we care about the civilians of Gaza, but we also want Hamas to go away. So we're not gonna help Israel. And then in the background, literally 5 hours later, hey Israel, I signed that new deal. Here's a bunch of new bombs. Just don't tell anyone. It's like, well, what are you doing? Like, if you're going to help your ally, take a stance and articulate why you're helping your ally. If you're not going to do it and you're going to back out on them, at least articulate why. It's like both administrations sucked with helping both of our allies overall.
Yeah, I think taking a clear stance and not trying to appeal to people for votes is a very big problem in our political standpoint in our nation. I will also state
Kamala
that
Harris had that problem. I don't know if you saw. Did you see any of the uh campaign
um
videos for Kamala?
doing I paid much attention to everyone outside of the independents
So
when it comes to the recent situation.
in Michigan, she had campaign videos saying, "I am wholly against Israel, doing what they're doing. We're not going to support them. Free the people of Gaza. All this." But then, just across the border in another state, she's got, "Yeah, go Israel all the way, no matter what." It's like I don't like either of those messages. But the problem is, you're telling two sets of voters completely different things just because you want votes.
Yes, that's and why I condemn her for doing that as an independent. Both sides does that. I see that on both sides. I see them
Mm-hmm.
they're doing their best to try to get votes versus actually having a stance on something. And I thought, well, in 2016, I voted for Andrew Yang just to see what he would do,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because he sounded like he was a little bit differently,
Mm-hmm.
but it didn't go that way. So I ended up voting for, as I said, I'm an independent. I voted for Trump 2016. Um, we we saw his 4 years because he ended up winning. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't really like it, and so I never voted for him again. Um, I voted for a lot of independents around that time, but then when it came to the choices that I had to make a
Hmm.
choice between such and such and such and such. But I think that currently, right now, the whole Congress needs to be all new people. I think the presidency is obviously going to be still there because of midterms.
Hmm.
But I think that America needs to go through a whole new route. But at the same time, because I'm noticing a lot of people are voting based on how citizens are communicating with each other, that communications between um all the diasporas of the political standpoint has to have some type of change and have some type of way of non-hostility, even if you want to do it. Does that make sense?
Kinda, yeah. I mean, I was a protest vote this year for Jeff Jackson because even though I'm not a registered Democrat, I I like how he is and how he's transparent and how he doesn't vote with party lines and how it was kind of like, hey, I say this, this is what I think, I'm gonna vote this way, and he did it.
Yeah, cause like for me in the 2024, my vote didn't count for.
Hmm.
They say signature. I don't know how it. I don't understand how it's different because nobody write their T's and B's like me,
Hmm.
but they say it was different. So I just gotta chalk it up to the game. But for me, the main reason why I voted for her is the economic standpoint because when I viewed the people that was experts in these situations,
Hmm.
they compared both of the plans, and so I said, okay, well, 2 point something trillion is a lot better than 5 point something trillion. So I voted for her in an economic standpoint, and my vote was mostly based on that. Now, there's other things that I did like about her, but there's also things that I liked about Trump that I feel as though it could be implemented with Congress.
Hmm.
Um, at the same time, I don't think that majority of Americans I think majority of Americans are doing exactly what their parents taught them.
Oh. Well, we got banned on we got banned, so that's fun. So I'm gonna end the stream for now. I got banned for 5 minutes.